Hi, I'm your host Jared Gross, and thanks for joining us on The Community Producers, a monthly show produced by community volunteers like myself. We begin this month in Cranbrook, where Dennis Walker is joined by Key City Theatre manager Galen Olstead.
Galen from Key City Theatre in Cranbrook is in with us. How are you?
Doing pretty good, Dennis. How are you doing?
Well, fine. There's been so much going on.
Yeah, it's been busy over at the theater.
When you get to a 25th anniversary like you've been dealing with, I guess you want to bring in the best talent you can, and it's been coming. It really has.
Yeah, we've had a really good lineup this past year, and we've got a really good lineup coming up next year.
Right. You have to plan how far ahead.
Really depends on what the act is. A lot of things like dance, for example, we're 2 years away from what the show is, and other things like a lot of music, they don't plan their tours till a month or 2 months before they're on the road.
Is it hard for them to find you? Do you seek out most of the entertainment, or does most of the entertainment come to you?
It's a real mix. There's some things that we seek out. There's some things that come to us, and then we work with a lot of partners, different presenters who come to us, and they have things that they're working on.
When you took over at the Key City Theatre, and how long ago, if you can remind us? It's been a while.
2.5 years.
Already, yeah. The vision for it, is it going the direction you want it to?
Oh yeah, it's been going really well. I think we've done a lot of upgrades to the facility, kind of moved forward in our programming, and it's been a really exciting place over the last couple of years. Lots of changes.
There's been some great local productions, and included in the shows that you've had, a lot of the actors came back and actresses for a special night you'd had as well. It's nice to be able to show that facility has been able to enhance and nurture a lot of local actors and actresses.
Yeah, we've got some amazing talent right here in Cranbrook. We were really fortunate to be able to bring some people back into town who were away. So Sarah Aleem came back from Toronto. And then some local talent that is still here, Tyrell Hawk, Calvin Klassen, we have Barry Borgstrom, Jim Cameron, and just so many different and amazing talents that were there for the evening. Aspire Dance, Stages Dance. It was just such a fantastic evening.
What's your take on the Mount Baker Wild Theatre Company? Because these kids, they put a lot into the drama class with Mary Hamilton and those that work with her. That's another showcase of what's happening locally that gets onto that stage.
Yeah, I think right through the middle schools and through the high school, there's some amazing talent for the teaching staff. Mary Hamilton on the theater side, Evan Buchert on the music side, and you can really see that impact years later with the number of people that still are in the industry or have moved on to be professionals.
Very good. I was thinking to myself, when you're an entertainment promoter, or at least you're trying to make a theater be a success, are there certain acts that you would just love to see come here, that you would, have a goal and say, I want to see them one day and I'd like to bring them to Cranbrook?
Sure. Like this is a budget, money's no object.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney.
Okay.
Seriously, one person I'd love to bring in, probably a little bit out of price range, but Tracy Chapman would be a real highlight. I saw Tracy in England years and years and years ago, and it was just such a phenomenal concert. I think be able to present that and share that would be pretty amazing.
I want to talk about the volunteers while we have you here on the Community Producers. Do you ask each and every one of them to show up for each and every show? And how many do you have to work with?
So we have a volunteer crew of 80. There's about 80 people, and there's kind of varying levels of commitment. So we have some volunteers that are there almost every single show, and we have some that we see once a month. So what we ask for is usually at least once a month. It's a 4-hour commitment for a show, 4.5 hours, and that's about it.
Great. And you have how many?
80.
80 volunteers. That means a lot of people care about what's happening for local theater.
Yeah, we say when we add up all the hours over the year, we're around 4,500 hours. We really couldn't do it without them.
Well, thank you for what you do here, because there's so much going on. It's a very entertainment is very competitive in this area, and for every act you want to get as many people in the seats as you can, and it's not always that easy, is it?
No, it's always a struggle to to sell tickets. You know, it's a really busy market here in Cranbrook. We've got a lot of activity going on. So I mean, there's the plus side that it's such a busy place and it's such a vibrant place, but we also have to work really hard to get noticed and make sure people are getting to the shows and supporting the arts.
How's the advertising going with your sign? You've got the flashing sign out there? Yep.
You know, really well. The sign just makes us look professional. You know, it's a fantastic marketing tool. And we get comments on it all the time. So Selkirk Signs is such an amazing contribution for us.
Easy to get tickets to. People can just go right down, or they can get them online, and that's the way we're connecting with people.
Yep. Yeah. Our online tickets, we sell probably 50% of our tickets now are sold online. So it really shows what kind of demand there is and how much people really are online.
Galen Olstead, thank you for coming in studio.
Thanks, Dennis.
Yeah, the guy that puts everything together and runs the show at the Key City Theatre here in Cranbrook.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Each week, a group of Special Olympics athletes in Invermere hit the gym, learning to train better in order to perform better. We tagged along recently at one of those sessions.
Okay, we're going to get our arms up over our head now.
Since 2010, Special Olympics opportunities have allowed athletes in the Columbia Valley to take part in a variety of sports. Most recently, the organization has been running a workout program known as Club Fit.
We thought, well, how can we expand it? How can we continue to help them grow? And then my suggestion, since I'm a personal trainer and group trainer here, was let's bring it to the gym. High knees. Yes.
It's really important in terms of helping the athletes to develop and improve their fitness ability, their overall health status and well-being in the community. It also adds to their self-esteem, and it gives them an opportunity for social interaction.
Since its inception, the program has had a positive impact on the small group of athletes who regularly attend the sessions.
I've definitely noticed that I've gotten stronger. I've upped my weight counts on some of the exercises. The leg crunch over there, I've gone from 30 to 60 pounds.
Thomas is always eager. He likes to have his programs just written down for him, and he just goes from one to the next. He knows what to do. He knows what muscle groups he's working now.
Andrew Galligan has also seen noticeable improvement and enjoys the social aspect of the program.
I like coming to this program because you can meet friends and keep fit as well as getting stronger.
He knows all his muscle groups and everything, but he didn't know how to use his body. He didn't know how to get the most out of it. We talk about healthy choices in eating also, so for Andrew that was a big piece.
And then there's Marlo Felding, who after some initial struggles has embraced the challenge Club Fit presents.
She kind of walked in here thinking, oh my goodness, but she has just grown immensely. She has just embraced everything. Now she comes in, she has a big smile on her face, she knows what she's going to do, and she knows how to do a lot of these pieces of equipment and exercise that we're doing.
As a volunteer-run organization, programs like this are possible thanks to dedicated volunteers like Jeanette St. Jean, someone these athletes don't take for granted.
Well, she's a great coach, and she volunteers her time with us, so it doesn't cost us anything. We even get free memberships here.
Honestly, without her, none of this would be possible. So she's been great help.
St. Jean says her reward is seeing participants grow and learn from their time in the gym.
They can see how they're improving, and not just here at the gym, but out there in the other sports of Special Olympics.
For more on Special Olympics programs and volunteer opportunities in your area, visit specialolympics.bc.ca. For the community producers in Invermere, I'm Bill Brewer.
A group of homeowners and volunteers in Fernie are working to reduce the risk of wildfire and make their community more fire smart. James Farnan explains.
When it comes to fire risk for the residents of Castle Mountain in Fernie, this is ground zero.
This green space behind these houses is the biggest threat to these houses. So we're trying to reduce the fire intensity in case there is a wildland fire in this area. Just reduce that fire intensity and save the properties, hopefully.
So the area is being thinned out as part of the Fire Smart Community Recognition Program, which empowers homeowners like Jim Catley to reduce risk in their neighbourhoods.
The goals are to, of course, mitigate wildfire risks and take away some of the ladder fuels that are prone to be very volatile in the event a fire comes.
Things have been moving along quickly after forming a board, having a hazard assessment completed and receiving a $500 grant from Fire Smart Canada. It was time to get to work.
The first recommendation was to do vegetation management along this old power line pathway.
So Catley would organise a work bee to bring the neighbourhood together, and over 30 people came to help.
It's terrific to get buy-in by neighbours and to have volunteer work, and it's a great way to get to know our neighbours better.
Fire department staff would stop by to lend a hand after playing a significant role in getting the program off the ground.
We have incredible support from the fire department, which we would not have been able to do this without, and so that's a really big stakeholder to have good buy-in with and support.
For us, it's really a pilot project. I mean, he's the first one to really run with the ball, and we're hoping, yeah, it'll be a great example that others can follow.
Alan Westaver, who first developed the program, says Catley's progress over the past few months will be used as an example for other communities going forward.
This is exactly what the program is designed to do, and it's really fulfilling to see how fast this neighborhood has come together, how the community champion Jim has pulled together his neighbors and the enthusiasm they have for the Fire Smart event.
Catley will continue working toward the goal of making Castle Mountain Fernie's first certified Fire Smart community.
By documenting what we're doing and continuing to follow the steps in the Fire Smart Community Recognition Program, that we may achieve recognition later this year. And then we would look at renewing each year annually by hosting at least one additional work event and any information meetings.
And as the fire department looks to expand the program, the focus will not only be on engaging homeowners like Catley, but also developers and landscapers.
If the developer is on board and would like to see their whole development Fire Smart, that just gives us one step ahead right from the start. And then often those people are paying landscapers to come and finish their property, to landscape it. And if a landscaper has Fire Smart principles behind what they're doing, it's just going to make everything a lot easier.
For the community producers in Fernie, I'm James Farnan.
Welcome back. Up next, Dennis Walker has a look at everything coming up over the next little while at Fort Steele Heritage Town.
It's always a treat to spend a summer day out at Fort Steele, and we're here with Caitlin today to talk about some of the events and find out how summer has gone. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, thank you.
Hey, congratulations on your schooling. Tell everybody what's happened in your life.
Thank you. I just graduated a Bachelor of Music in Lethbridge and then a Diploma of Operatic Performance at the University of Toronto.
And you've come back here for the 6th year. How's it been?
It's been wonderful so far. We've had such a good season.
Very good. Let's talk about some of the special presentations you have coming up then.
Well, first, I'd like to point out that we have summer camp for kids all through July and August. That is for grades kindergarten to about grade 7, so ages 5 to 12. And kids can come out and have a fun time experiencing Fort Steele on a daily basis.
You're going to have dinosaurs on site too this year, right?
We are. So we have an Ice Age exhibit this summer at Fort Steele, but on September 15th, it's going to be exchanged for Dinosaurs Unearthed, which is a new dinosaur exhibit coming to our Wassa Museum.
You've got other events happening for September too.
We do. Our country fair is on September 10th, and that's always a great time to come out with your family and experience all the different good eats that we have at that day.
It seems like there's target dates that people look forward to every year. I know at Halloween you're busy, going back to Father's Day and some of the other times too, but you're probably targeting these dates as to get very busy here as well.
Oh, definitely. We usually have very large crowds for our special events.
It's not hard to bring people anywhere in the Kootenays when it's the summertime, but when we look ahead to September, October, the shoulder season is bringing more bus tours, isn't it?
It does. We have people who travel all across Canada and from the United States on tour buses, and it's great having them in here and discussing where they're from.
I take it if you've worked here for 6 years, you were probably coming out of high school or maybe working some summers in high school. Tell us about the full experience of working here over the 6 years and maybe some of the special things that have happened to you or the people that you've met to make it a special place to come to work every day.
I've worked in almost every area of Fort Steele. I've been up at our visitor center greeting guests. I've also been an actor and an interpreter and educator. So the educator and interpreter is probably my favorite job. I work with children who come out with their schools, and we do different programs with them, like making ice cream and leather goods, and that's been fantastic. Also, acting and just generally getting to speak with people from all over the world is probably my favorite part of working out here.
It's interesting too, because I would imagine when you talk to some of the older people that come to visit, you learn from them too.
I do. I think the biggest thing I've heard is that our schoolhouse looks almost exactly the same as many of the people used to sit in. So I guess our school system didn't change that long ago. Long enough that I wasn't in a one-room schoolhouse, though, for sure.
Is it hard to get dressed up every day? Do you have a whole bunch of different clothes that you put on when you come to work?
Oh no, I have two costumes. One is my work costume and one is my fancy costume, which you can see me wearing today. So I wear those depending on what I'm doing. If I'm doing a tour with people, I will dress fancy. And if I'm in the house, I would wear my work clothes because that's something you could get dirty and get some flour or grease on.
When we talk about the train, which always brings attention when it goes off every day, maybe the sound of some of the animals and the Clydesdales, who does all the caretaking of that one? Have you worked on that part of it too?
That is one area I have not worked in. I think I would be personally sneezing all day if I were doing livestock, but we have some wonderful employees who care for our animals so well, and they've been out riding our donkey, Jeffrey. You may be able to see them on his back, and of course working our horses. We have such great animals out here and some heritage breeds that you really can't see anywhere else.
You weren't born in Cranbrook, but you were here at 2 years of age, is that right?
That's correct. We moved here from Calgary when I was 2, and I lived here until leaving for university.
Okay, let's talk about those events one more time if people are just catching this on the fly, the dates of those special events you have coming up in September as we plan ahead here.
Of course. So we have the Country Fair on September 10th, and then our exhibit, The Dinosaurs Unearthed, will come in on September 15th.
There's so much to look forward to. If you have a chance and haven't been out for a while, you can pop out, say hi to Caitlin and the rest of the staff at Fort Steele.
Finally this month, James Farnan is joined by Cranbrook Mayor Lee Pratt to discuss the ongoing restoration project at Idlewild Park.
We're here on one of the 2 new docks at Idlewild Park in Cranbrook, and I'm joined by Cranbrook Mayor Lee Pratt. Lee, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you. Good morning.
And Lee, it's a very exciting addition here to Idlewild Park. It's thanks to a $20,000 grant from the BC Freshwater Fisheries Society. From the city's perspective, just how exciting is this?
Well, it's very exciting because, as you know, they've put some fish in here too, and we're going to be fishing here, some people, and so we needed somewhere to fish off, so it's a great addition.
And of course, this is right in the middle of a big redevelopment of Idlewild Park. But this actually wasn't this little bonus from the Freshwater Fisheries Society wasn't forecast when you were coming up with the plan, was it?
Well, it was in our forecast to have them, but it was also in our budget for us to have the money to build them. So it's a great donation by them.
Yeah. So for a long time now, the Idlewild Park has been a place for people to fish. Do you remember as a kid? I know it was the city's dam, but do you remember as a kid? Did you ever sneak in and?
Well, when I was a kid, this was a reservoir, and you weren't allowed to fish in here. But there was a few of us who used to sneak in here and fish. It was pretty good fishing too.
Yeah, and this is a little bit different because it's received a designation. It's for disabled people, and children with an accompanying adult.
Yeah, you can be accompanied by a disabled can fish here. Children under 16 can fish if they're accompanied by up to 2 adults, of which one of them have to have a valid fishing license.
And is this are there other places like that with that designation here in the Cranbrook area, or is this kind of unique in that respect?
To be honest with you, I'm not aware of anywhere else in the Cranbrook area like that.
So the idea is just to create a kind of a safe space for those people and give them a bit more access where they maybe otherwise wouldn't have it?
Absolutely. There's a lot of lakes and that to fish around here, but some of them are pretty hard to access. So this is a great addition for that.
And of course, the redevelopment's going to include more accessibility for people in wheelchairs and so forth, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a big pathway planned, and it's going to be paved. And there's this year we're starting the new washrooms. This is probably going to be a 3 to 4 year plan to completion. So this is the first start of it, and it's looking really good.
Now, of course, we talked briefly earlier about the development of the lake, and you just mentioned a few things, the washrooms and stuff. What is slated for the remainder of the year in terms of the redevelopment here at Otherwild?
Well, there's the washrooms. They're going to redo the playground, to put new playground equipment in. The family picnic area is going to be redone. I believe right now the college is building some shelters for that. So those are 3 things that I know for sure are going to happen this year.
And even though it's a nice sunny day here today, and summer is upon us, the one important thing to note about this dock and the other dock as well, is that it's not for swimming, is it?
No, absolutely. There's no swimming allowed here. It's for fishing only and observing the wildlife. We saw some geese there and some ducks, so it's for observation of the wildlife and that too.
And you mentioned it's been stocked with rainbow trout. I've heard that there's lots of fish jumping.
Yeah, we've saw a few here this morning here already, but there's going to be good fishing here.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining us, and I'm sure everyone in Cranbrook's eagerly awaiting the redevelopments here at Otherwild Park.
That's all the time we have here on this month's episode of The Community Producers. I'm Jared Gross. Thanks for watching.